Everything is meaningless without Jesus. I'll show you in this week's Reflection Thursday. Thank you for tuning into this week's Reflection Thursday. Today, we're going to be touching on the topic, everything is meaningless without Jesus. Now today, we're going to be starting a series, a Bible study in the book of Ecclesiastes. And today, we're going to be reading chapter 1. And I invite you in to come along with me. Let's go. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Now I want to stop there. Without Jesus, you're going to find that everything in life is going to have no meaning. Whatever you put your hand to, it's going to have no meaning. It's not going to fill you up. What do people gain from all their labors, at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. And I want to stop there. Without Jesus, you're going to be very weary what the future is going to bring. You're going to be weary about your past, but things clearly, you're going to be very burdened without Jesus. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, there is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. Now the generations that have come before us, they were very zealous for God. But slowly, as time went on, we have forgot the way of God. We have turned to other things to fill our hearts. Look at Reverend Billy Graham. He was the minister of his generation. But as time went on, people don't really remember him as often as they should, because they're so consumed with the things of this world. And that's what the enemy wants, is to get you so self-focused that you're not in tune to hearing God's voice, that you're so burdened and weighed down by the cares of this life that you see that this life is nothing but meaningless. That everything you do turns into a mess. That everything you're tooling for at work is meaningless. But I'm here to tell you that with Jesus, there's meaning. With Jesus, there's hope. With Jesus, there's a future, and there's a purpose, and there's a destiny for you. Now, having said that, there's a few more verses I want to share with you. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavy burden God has laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Now I want to stop right there. Without Jesus, everything that you do, it's going to seem like you can't achieve what you're trying to achieve. That it's only slipping through your hands like sand through the hourglass. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this too is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Now you can read many of books and gain a lot of worldly understanding about things, whether it be about space, whether it be about math, whether it be about the planet, and still miss your Creator. For in the essence of things, it's not about getting wisdom from a book. It's about letting God show you the way and letting Him teach you what you need to know and fill you up with the things that you're lacking in your life. Because that's something that you cannot get from a history book. That's something that you can't get from a TV. That's something that you can't get from another person in this life. Only Jesus can do it. Now the Pharisees, they were well versed in the law, and they knew all about the law. But when Jesus came to the earth, they could not see Him. They could not recognize Him as the Messiah. Now they knew that the Messiah was coming, but they trusted in their own performance to make themselves holy, to make themselves righteous, which none of those things can save you. Now to sum chapter 1 up, without Jesus, it's gonna feel like life is meaningless, like you don't have a purpose. But in fact, you do have a purpose. That's why God gave you breath. That's why He created you in your mother's womb. That's why He created you different than anybody else in this world. That's why you have different DNA and different chromosomes than anybody else in this world. And when you give your life to Jesus, you have a purpose, you have a destiny that He designed for you. And when you give your life to Jesus, everything falls into place. And when you give your life to Jesus, life will become brighter, and that meaningless feeling that you had will no longer be there, because you will feel a purpose and a destiny that has been placed inside you, along with a sense of peace and a joy that only Jesus can bring and give you. Now, with the wisdom part, only Jesus can show you what you need to do, and only Jesus can guide you where you need to go. My advice that I would give to you personally is to read His Word, for that's where He reveals Himself. You can't get true godly knowledge from any other book, from any other source. So today, run to the source and drink deeply from His well, and let Him guide you, let Him lead you, let Him show you all that He has for you, and let Him wash away all those feelings of hopelessness and meaningless that you may have today. And just know that you have a purpose, and that you have a destiny, and that Jesus loves you very, very deeply. Just know that Jesus loves you very, very much, very, very deeply, more than you can ever comprehend. Thank you for tuning into this week's Reflection Thursday. I hope you've been blessed. I hope you've been encouraged. Just remember that Jesus loves you, and He is for you, and He is with you. God bless.